Well, we're going to get started.
Okay.
So welcome everyone to our third segment in our series of alternatives to opioids for pain management. I'm Joanne Bellata, and I'm the Executive Director of the Council to Prevent Opioid Dependence. We are very excited to have with us tonight Swami Jnanamudrananda. I totally butchered that, but anyway.
It's okay.
Swami J for short. I even practiced it too, which is
That's okay.
Worse.
It's a very long name, I know. Yes.
But you're going to talk to us tonight about meditation, how meditation
Sure.
can help us manage pain and also the effect it has on our overall health. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about your experience and then
Sure.
get right into it.
Sure, absolutely. Well, my introduction to meditation came when I happened to be 15 years old. I was very interested in, spiritual studies and different things. And my mother knew somebody who taught meditation. So she was very supportive of me. And so I went to learn meditation. And so that's what I did. So it's kind of really been a lifelong study of it. And it really is a lifelong study. I've kind of drifted in and out of it at times during my life. But meditation has certainly helped me in some of the most trying times of my life to help balance emotions and anxieties and different things like that, because we are all human. And as humans, we are imperfect. We are living in the imperfect realm. So these are things that help us and continue to help us, not just emotionally and with anxieties, but also over the last 50 years, especially in the West, through studies and peer reviews, we're finding out more and more how much it actually helps the brain and how much it can actually help with pain management and different things that go along with this, and help us with addictions, which are things that are just very, very important. Yeah.
Excellent.
So just to give you a little idea of meditation has really been around for thousands of years. We don't really know where it came from, but as far back as 5000 BCE, it can be traced back that far, just different archaeological studies about it. It's perhaps maybe an evolutionary wonder, how as humans, we still look up at the stars in wonderment. And as we do that, as we look up at the stars, our mind sort of empties. If you've ever noticed, if you're looking at the stars, you realize you aren't really thinking about anything at all. So I think that's probably something that happened, or one of the things that started to happen. Also, when we were introduced to building fires, if you've ever looked at a fire, you find yourself doing the same thing. You get mesmerized. It's called being mesmerized by the fire, but really it's a type of a meditation that your mind goes into. So I think probably some of those things are really some of the foundations of it. Now, it has been practiced in many cultures, which really comes from the East, because, of course, thousands of years ago, this was not really, as we know it today, inhabited in a Western-styled mind. Before we were here, we had Indians and shamanism, and they performed certain rituals that were very meditative, as we talked about fire and some of the things that they did to not worship, but some of the things that they did to help calm themselves and balance their own processes. And they were very attuned to nature in that way. But virtually every religion then and now has some sort of tradition of using meditation or meditative prayer, which is actually quite beautiful. As time has went on, when Western cultures started to venture into trade routes into the east, they started to discover some of these meditations, and Partly it was due to colonialism as well. They were venturing more and more, and more and more people were venturing into the East and starting to see some of these practices. And it was very interesting to them. So they started to take this back into their own cultures, into some of the, near West cultures, and individualized it for themselves. So this is, I guess, yet another reason that meditation is under such a large umbrella of, or mindfulness, if you will. It is under quite a large umbrella. There's so many different, I don't know if sect is the right word for it, but people have individualized it for ourselves, which is quite natural because we are all so different and unique in our own way. Not just individually, but also culturally. And so we kind of find things that work for us. We can take a beautiful ingredient and really make it our own. And I think that's really what meditation did, coming, drifting further and further to the West. Here in our neck of the West, if you will, it was really in the 19th century that it started to become flourishing, start to come to our consciousness. And eventually, probably about the mid 20th century is when it really, really started to take off here. Some of this also had to do with some of the masters, the yogic masters of the East, migrating to the East to teach, and because they were being sought out to come and teach. And one of the most popular, one of the founders really of yoga and meditation and mindfulness in the West, and specifically the United States, was Paramahansa Yogananda. He came here, I believe, in the teens, somewhere around there, early 20s. He was sent here by his guru and his yogic masters to take yoga to the West. And so that's what he did. And to this day, he still has self-realization fellowship temples located mainly in California. There's the Lake Shrine that's just north of Los Angeles. There's a temple in Encinitas, and there's several, and they're just wonderful, beautiful mindfulness and meditation gardens and places that we can still go to this day. And so he left that beautiful legacy behind for the West. So kind of fast forward to today, because this could be a very long subject to go into if we wanted to talk about where it came from. But meditation has always been complementary medicine for the mind and the body. It helps to alleviate stress, produce relaxation, uncrowd the mind of all of the mixed thoughts that go through it, which we all are subject to. So the benefits of this and of meditation are many. Mindfulness, of course, being one of them. It helps with the physical and emotional well-being, helps us to increase our patience, reduce negative emotions, helps us through stressful situations, of course, as well as some of the more important things is it can help to lower our heart rate. It can help to lower our blood pressure. It can help us to improve our sleep quality. These are some of the things that are tangible and that we can really feel when we adopt a meditation practice and let it flourish. And it's really the adoption of the meditation practice and keeping it going. It's like anything that we do with the brain does. Once you keep doing it, it builds neurons in the brain. It builds a pattern in the brain. And so there is so much data out there that shows the changes that mindfulness and meditation actually do to the brain. And along those lines, it actually helps with medical conditions as well. Some of the examples of this could be migraines, generally which are caused by tension headaches, sleep problems, anxiety disorders, heart disease, cancer, chronic pain, which is something that we are talking about here today. There are many studies using various methods to observe the brain, generally through CAT scan and different ways of imaging the brain, looking at them while these meditation practices and mindfulness techniques are going on. Now, it's important to note as we're getting into this discussion that it's not meant to be a replacement for conventional medicine.
Mhm.
Conventional medicine always has its place and should be observed, and anything that you do should be done under a doctor's care or observation. And I always urge everyone to talk to your doctor about some of these techniques. And if you happen to have a doctor that's resistant to some of them, with anything, I mean, always find or seek out a second or even a third opinion. I think in this regard, more is better. Just as any diagnosis, a physical diagnosis, we would want to gather a team and hear what the team has to say about these things. So I think that is like a very important distinction to make.
Right. And I think one thing we've been kind of in our last two webinar segments, we do stress that it's not the be all end all, that you might
Right.
use in combination
Yes.
to help manage your pain. So, our first episode was on massage therapy.
Mm.
The second one was on
Wonderful,
diet
yes.
and managing inflammation through changing your diet, maybe going a little more plant-based.
Sure. Yeah.
But what I find in managing my own pain is that it's a bunch of different things that you do together. It's not
Yes.
just one thing that will help you manage the pain better. And, and meditation is a big part of that too. In combination with maybe some of these other alternatives we had, highlighted before, and maybe
Sure.
in future episodes as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. See, that's absolutely correct. I love that you were able to point all that out so everybody could, really understand that distinction of, all the little pieces that fit the puzzle to bring us some help and some comfort. It's so important for all of those little pieces together. Yeah.
And I find that meditation is becoming more and more mainstream in
Yes.
complement to traditional medicine. Many cardiologists and other pain management specialists are recommending meditation and mindfulness to kind of control and get the neurons to calm down and maybe less in that way. So this is a great topic. And you're going to walk us through some examples too, correct?
I definitely will. Yes, absolutely. Just to, kind of top onto the subject that what you were talking about, all the combinations of it. You had the empirical evidence of all these things and what you talked about the doctors talking to you about, how these things help the different regions of the brain. It's like, it's the practice of it continually though. And the brain will respond. The neurons will respond. They'll start kind of piecing these things together and helping us in a physiological way. These, as we mentioned before, these studies have shown to increase the gray matter that helps us to aid in learning and memory. The parts of the brain that are responsible for cognitive brain function, self-awareness, attention, the nervous system, tempering down the fight or flight response, the parts of the brain that deal with anxiety and pain, it helps to calm all of them down. It's just a very important note that you mentioned and that I kind of, added on to there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not one magic pill that we take, as you mentioned. It's really a whole holistic with conventional a medical approach to all of it. Yeah. 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 Is there something that you would like me to demonstrate, or would you like me to talk a little further about anything?
Well, let's
Whatever you like me
walk
to
through a
do.
demonstration to get our audience engaged and hopefully
Yeah,
learn, some basic
sure,
techniques.
sure. There are so many different, I would call it meditation methods. I would urge everybody to, there are, so many YouTube videos. My friend has an app where she does meditation on her app. There's so many different things to find. And I would always urge everybody, because again, like I mentioned, everybody's individual and unique. One thing you might find helps one person might not be for you. So find the method, find the attunement that works for you, and you will. And once you find that, you will find yourself becoming calmer and finding yourself wanting to sit down for 5 or 10 minutes, or just attune to things in that way. But the first thing I would do is always make sure that you're in a nice, comfortable space in your house. Try to be somewhere without electronics around or on. A nice, quiet space. If candles help, do that. If you have incense to burn, I would definitely do that. Find the things that help you. And that's the most important thing. The things that are comfortable to you, that will help you sit for 5, 10, 20 minutes, if you will, if you can. Those are all wonderful things. But really what you're trying to do is just get into a space where you're quiet, where you can relax, not go to sleep, and just sit. And what you really want is for your mind and for your spine to be elevated and straight. So even if you have a physical problem where you need to sit in a chair, please do that, but have your spine sitting straight up. In yoga, it's called savasana, where you're lying flat on the floor. If you need to do that, just lie flat on the floor with your arms out. Your palms will be up. Those are some of the tips that you would need to do. Okay. Or if you're yogically inclined and limber, a full lotus position. But anything we do, try not to have your palms on your knees, anything that's closing off energies, because this is really all about energetic work. So just to give you a little bit of demonstration of how to go in, don't worry about anything that's a guided meditation. I'll just be talking a little bit. Do this for yourself. Just going to close your eyes. And what you're doing is you're tuning your eyes to the middle, right between your eyes. It's called the third eye in yoga, and that's where we're tuning to. You're not straining there. It's just kind of a gaze, a loving gaze. And so what you would do is just do that. You just follow along with me. Just take a nice breath in through your nose. Hold that at the top for a moment and release it. Breathe in through the nose. Hold that at the top and release. And do one more time. Hold at the top and then release. And then when you're by yourself, what you want to do is just after that third inhale and release, you just kind of let yourself go into breath mode. The preference would be to breathe in and out through the nose. I'm going to open my eyes now. Breathe in and out through the nose. Now, breathing through the nose helps to relax everything as well. Mouth breathing will tend to increase anxiety. Mouth breathing will not help us calm down. So the more you do this and the more you breathe in, inhale, and out through the nose in just a natural way, you'll find that the mind is calming down. Physiologically, your heart rate slows. The breathing slows. You're not forcing anything. And I don't want to say that's all there is to it, but let's just take a few moments, just a couple moments, to go into quiet. That way you can feel it for yourself. And I'll just go and be quiet for a moment and just breathe in and out gently and nicely through the nose. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit and open your eyes again. And if you probably noticed, just with that maybe minute or two that we did that, you can really feel yourself start to kind of settle in. And just by simply breathing in and out through the nose. And, even in a non-meditative environment, if you're in a stressful situation, you can always go to the breath through the nose. Just if you find yourself, stressed out or driving and something is happening, remember that and just go to just a nice, easy breath in through the nose and release. It will help to calm the heart, calm yourself physiologically, calm the brain very quickly. And you'll notice it happening faster and faster for you. The more that you meditate and the more that you attune to that and go into it. I find myself doing it very quickly. I'm human. I find myself in stressful situations from time to time. And that's a technique that I use in my waking day and in my external day. But again, I've been doing this for quite a while, and I've learned different meditation techniques. When I was younger, in my 20s, I studied again in my 30s through the temple, through my seminary school. We, went to very deep meditations of 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, things like that. It really helped to attune the body to it. And to this day, I do weekly meditation videos on YouTube for the temple. So you'll see that, even though I've been doing this for quite a long time, these are things that I still use, techniques that I still use for myself, and a practice that I still use to help keep the brain attuned, keep the brain sharp, because the brain is an instrument that we can use and that you can use as well to help yourself.
And also breathing, I think, is a good technique for pain management.
Absolutely, yes.
Breathing through your pain. I think
yes.
I find this helped me a lot. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what's the best technique to kind of, when you're in pain, to kind of breathe and kind of maintain that, work yourself through that pain.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's different forms of pain and different things that cause pain in the physical body. And one of the things we just talked about, the breath alone is one of those things that can, now when a pain can be very sharp, you want to try to match something like that with maybe a deep inhale through the nose. Just something like this is, and just a nice hold at the top, and a release. Something like that will right away, it will reform the neurons to kind of like take it in a different direction there is another technique that Paramahansa Yogananda did teach, and that was a breath work like this. It was an inhale, a deep inhale, all the way to the top like this. And you hold, you clench, and you tighten everything, and you hold the breath, and you just hold it, and you release halfway, and you go. Then you release everything. And when you release everything, you can genuinely feel discomfort and pain release from your body. It was a very effective method that he started teaching, and he first started teaching it to help people relax the body, because people were having a hard time, relaxing the body to go into meditation. And after a while, it started to be found and studied that it would help people that had back issues or hip issues, maybe something wrong with their knees, maybe a headache. We find these different things that help. They're like, oh my goodness, it helps that. And so these are some of the peer reviewed things that have been happening over the past 50 years. Mayo Clinic has done a lot of studies with this as well, where they have found it has been helping with pain management. Now, again, there are so many different techniques that they're finding, breath work, meditation, things like this with the inhale and the clenching and then halfway and then release, that are helping with pain. It's not a be all end all again. And it doesn't work as well for one person as it might for another. So again, that's why it's so important to find those different techniques that you attune to and that you can work with, that will help. There's another technique, I'm just thinking in my own head, where you can hold the thumb on your nose, and you want to just breathe in, hold at the top, and you hold for as long as you can, and then you release through the same nostril. And then you switch right away and do that. And then release through the nostril right away. And then you'll just keep switching back and forth. And this helps the brain and the mind to attune itself. It tells the neurons to, oh, we're relaxing. Things are okay. Things are calming down. We've all heard the term, it's all in the mind, it's all in the brain. And truly a lot of things are in the mind and in the brain. And so again, this is yet another technique that we can use to tell the brain center, the brain center, the pain center in the brain that, hey, we're over here, we're calming the pain down. It might not be able to take all the pain away, but it's one of these techniques that can help soften things and relax things in that sort of way. Yeah.
Great. Well, does anyone have any questions at this point? If you do, put them in the Q&A. Okay. I don't see any questions. Is there anything else you want to add, like another technique or something else before we close? And where can people, see you as
Sure.
your meditation services and other services you offer?
Sure, absolutely. And anyone, you are welcome to share my email as well. Anybody, if they feel more comfortable emailing a question, they're more than welcome to do that. I completely understand. The YouTube channel is called Go Swami Kriyananda, and that is on YouTube. There, through that temple, there are many other swamis that do Sunday services. He still has a lot of his services and techniques posted as videos on there. Every Monday, I post a guided meditation for the temple on there, which airs, I believe, at 10 a.m. Central Time every Monday, but it's left up there for viewing throughout the week. And so what I would do for anybody, I would, again, simply encourage anybody to look into the research for yourself, like we mentioned, Mayo Clinic, Harvard EDU. There are many peer reviewed magazines that have posted things online. And I would love to see everybody go and check some of those things out. And there are pictures that show what it does to the gray matter, meditation, mindfulness, what it does to the brain. And so sometimes it's more helpful when we're doing our own research in our own way to look at those things and actually see a picture and like, oh, wow, it really does that. And so that helps us to attune to it in that way and take it into a practice in some of the demonstrations that I mentioned here today. Yeah,
And you and I met
encourage.
at the Foundation event this fall. And so I know you
Yes.
locally here sometimes too. Is there an opportunity for people to see you here?
I haven't done anything again. It's generally going to be with the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Foundation. I'll probably be there again next year. I do have a family that I visit, or family and friends that I visit a few times a year. I will actually be there over the weekend of the 13th through the 16th. So if anybody has a question for me while I'm there, I'll probably be meeting a few different friends for coffee. If somebody would like to come and have a coffee, just, get a hold of me through the email. And if it's a time that I can, I'd be more than happy to sit and have a coffee with somebody and go over something, in person for sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this. This was wonderful.
Yes.
And I'm sure you helped a lot of people through this webinar today. And
Wonderful.
the techniques you did were great. I'm going to, incorporate them into my pain management routine. And
wonderful, wonderful.
We'll touch base soon.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for attending. And
thank you.
The recording of this webinar will be up on our website, which is www.ctpod.org. Oop, we have one question. Hold on.
Yes.
Yes. Can we give the email?
Oh, sure.
Okay. What is the email?
It's SJM Ananda. That's SJMANANDA, the number 8 @gmail.com. And it just stands for Swami Jnanamudrananda. So SJM Ananda, the number 8 @gmail.com.
SJA?
SJM.
SJM, okay.
I don't know all the airline lingo, but it's S John Mary Ananda.
And then they said, breathe one more time.
Oh, sure, yes. should we do it one more time?
Yes. One more
Let's
time.
do it. We'll do the Paramahansa Yogananda method. Okay, if everybody'd like to do this together, we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and we'll hold it at the top. We're going to close our eyes. Okay, and then we'll hold it there. Okay, let's go. Breathe in deep. Clench the whole body in the fists. Hold, 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 hold. Release halfway. Release all the way. And just let it all go. Let it all go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful to be here with everyone. My deepest blessings, my deepest shantis to everyone.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.